The FBI recently arrested Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dolton, amid allegations of serious financial misconduct. Rumors had already been circulating that her lavish lifestyle, complete with luxury vacations, designer handbags, and an expensive security detail, was funded by questionable means. According to federal authorities, Henyard is accused of converting millions of Dolton's public funds into crippling debt. It's not your typical small-town scandal. While Dolton's financial reserves were drying up, Henyard was allegedly living like a Kardashian. From expensive trips to high-end shopping sprees, her spending raised plenty of red flags. And now we're here to spill all the details about how a small-town mayor might have been living the high life on taxpayer dollars. The situation only gets worse the deeper you dive. How does a town go from having millions in the bank to being buried in debt? Henyard has some serious explaining to do, and the FBI is listening closely. To understand how Dolton's Golden Girl became the federal government's latest target, we need to look back at the beginning. It all started when Henyard took over as mayor after the sudden death of Frank Zuccarelli. From day one, people had their suspicions, but Henyard entered the scene with bold promises for Dolton's future. However, it seems the reality was far from the dream she sold. At first, everyone in Dolton was all about Tiffany Henyard. She was like the town's own celebrity, walking around with grand plans and even bigger promises. But that excitement didn't last long. Before you could even say taxpayer money, things started to look shady. Henyard seemed to believe she was running her own little kingdom instead of a town. Then things really went off the rails. While Dolton's bank account was shrinking, Henyard's administration became not only controversial but downright hostile. Anyone who dared to speak against her was quickly silenced. You might be wondering how Henyard managed to get away with this. Well, the village board did try to step in and investigate her extravagant spending, but Henyard wasn't having it. She overruled their attempts faster than you can say corruption. Meanwhile, Henyard was living large, treating Dolton's funds like her personal ATM. From designer clothes to luxury vacations, she was living the high life. Her security detail alone likely cost more than most residents earned in a year. All this while the town's finances crumbled, yet Henyard kept the spending spree going.
Assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. So it has the taxpayer's name, address.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Brian and Natalie, it is very clear that the trustees in Thornton Township have trust issues, refusing to second a motion by Tiffany Henyard to get routine township bills paid.
I motion that we pay the bills for the general fund. Is there a second? Is there a motion and a second? Call the roll.
Trustee Jones?
Nope. Radio silence after Henyard attempts to get general fund bills paid. Here's why the trustees didn't go along with it. Last night, the agenda included none of those proposals, so they refused to budge on this.
You guys still don't want to move forward paying any other bills in the general fund? That is my question.
Is there a day of the previous week that we could set to review the bills?
Trustee, y'all already have the bill. Do you want to pay the bills on the general fund?
What the public
No,
needs to know.
They already know. Stop.
They don't need
Our meeting is on
So that's a
Tuesday.
no then.
We're here. We're
That's a
here.
no. So-
Yeah, time to review
So
it.
we can
Yeah,
go
my
on
question
set
is,
a
are you
day
paying the bill?
to review invoices?
Point of order.
statements.
Is there a motion on the floor to pay the general fund?
So that motion to pay those bills failed. Henyard adjourned the meeting and walked out. Natalie.
After failing to pay the bills, Tiffany Henyard abruptly adjourned the meeting and walked out. Here's the kicker, though. While Henyard was living the high life, Dolton was going broke. We're talking about a town that went from having millions in the bank to being over $3.5 million in debt. That's not just poor budgeting. That's like setting your wallet on fire and then wondering why you can't pay your rent. And the FBI investigation? It's not just a few receipts thereafter. No, they're digging into everything. Payroll, budgets, credit card statements, you name it. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Henyard went from being Dolton's golden girl to public enemy #1 faster than you can say wire fraud. Now, the feds are breathing down her neck, and it looks like her empire of luxury goods and extravagant trips is about to crumble. We all know the feds don't mess around. So what are they going to do to Henyard? It's like they're trying to solve a million-piece puzzle with her face on it. What could be so juicy that the FBI is treating this case like the next Watergate? They're not holding back. They're coming after Henyard hard and fast, investigating every corner of her life. And let me tell you, things aren't looking good for her. This situation is more tangled than a toddler's art project. The feds are going after Tiffany Henyard with not one, but 2 subpoenas, meaning they're leaving no stone unturned. The first subpoena targets her personal business dealings. They want information about her restaurant, property management company, political action committee, and more. But wait, there's a second subpoena, and it's all about Dolton's financial records, including payroll, budgets, and reimbursements for expenses. When a former FBI agent says this is serious, it's no longer just small-town drama. But here's where it gets even juicier. The FBI isn't only focusing on Henyard. They're casting a wide net, pulling in her entire inner circle, looking into every penny that has passed through Dolton's coffers. It's as if they're trying to track down every cent that might have been misused. You might be wondering, is this really that serious? Well, former FBI agent Ross Rice has weighed in, saying this investigation is very broad in scope. It involves numerous people and entities, and the feds are requesting extensive records. And it doesn't stop there. Keith Freeman, another key figure, is also in hot water. The feds seem determined to untangle a web of potential corruption. If you think that's bad, hang on, because other township leaders are also feeling the heat. What does all this mean for Tiffany Henyard? It looks like her days of living lavishly on Dolton's dime are coming to an abrupt end. The feds are closing in, and the consequences may be severe. The feds are closing in, and they've got even more evidence against Tiffany Henyard. The FBI has been interviewing witnesses one by one, piecing together the story, and from the looks of it, the picture isn't pretty for Henyard or her crew. The FBI is determined to get to the bottom of this and won't stop until every last detail is uncovered. Just when you thought Henyard couldn't dig herself a deeper hole, she metaphorically picked up a gold-plated shovel. The amount of taxpayer money she's accused of burning through could make even Jeff Bezos blush. So, what was she spending it all on? Buckle up, because this spending spree is unbelievable. First on the list, an extravagant police protection detail. Yes, you heard that right. Henyard seemed to think she was the president of the United States, not the mayor of a small town in Illinois. While Dolton struggled to pay its bills, Henyard strutted around with a security team that cost more than the defense budgets of some small nations. You might think, well, maybe Dolton is really dangerous and she needed the protection. But no, the town wasn't in dire need of that level of security. While Henyard had her own private army, the actual police force was left woefully underfunded, barely equipped to do their jobs. It's as if Henyard was playing pretend while the real cops were left with nothing but water guns. And it gets even more absurd. Remember how Henyard was living like there was no tomorrow? Well, she took that idea seriously. While Dolton was left high and dry, Henyard went on shopping sprees that would make even the most seasoned shopaholics raise an eyebrow. Her lavish lifestyle continued as the town's finances crumbled, leaving the community to pick up the pieces of her reckless spending. Tiffany Henyard's spending habits could make even the Kardashians envious. Reports indicate she splurged a staggering $33,000 on Amazon in just one day. Seriously, how many wigs, batteries, and miscellaneous items can one person buy? But that's not all. She also purchased gold-plated staplers, a lifetime supply of gourmet coffee, and designer face masks. While we may not know the specifics, one thing is clear. Her spending wasn't addressing Dolton's pothole problems. While Henyard was living the high life, Dolton was sinking into debt. But her extravagant lifestyle didn't stop there. She continued her lavish trips, staying in upscale hotels and dining at fancy restaurants. If it came with a hefty price tag, she was on it, seemingly on a mission to boost the economy of every place except Dolton. It's as if Miss Henyard single-handedly drove the town into the ground. Then came the wake-up call. The FBI. They began scrutinizing Henyard's receipts like a parent inspecting Halloween candy. And trust me, they found more tricks than treats. But hold on. If you thought the FBI was the only significant player in this drama, think again. Chicago's former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, has also gotten involved. What's a big city ex-mayor doing in Little Dolton? Well, when a mayor spends money like it's going out of style, you need someone who knows how to track it. The Dalton Village Board wisely decided to bring in Lightfoot for her expertise. Tiffany Henyard's spending habits aren't just a random target. They're under the magnifying glass of someone who has a strong legal background, given her previous role as a federal prosecutor. Lightfoot's mission is to shine a bright light on Henyard's spending practices and expose any wrongdoing. Meanwhile, the residents of Dolton are furious, feeling like their hard-earned tax dollars are vanishing faster than a kid blowing through birthday money. As this investigation unfolds, it's becoming increasingly clear that Henyard's days of living lavishly off the town's funds are numbered. With both the FBI and a former big city mayor on her tail, the drama in Dolton is heating up. The consequences of her spending spree could lead to a significant reckoning, and the town is ready to reclaim its finances and hold her accountable for the chaos she's created. The story is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher. Residents of Dalton are furious, feeling like their tax money is disappearing faster than a child's allowance at a candy store. They demand answers immediately. But here's the twist. Henyard isn't backing down. Instead, she claims this entire situation is just politics and tries to portray herself as a victim, all while enjoying the town's funds. She's digging through receipts, scrutinizing every credit card statement, expense report, and travel itinerary. Remember that $1 million security detail? The extravagant vacations? The Amazon shopping spree? The picture that's emerging is reminiscent of a reality TV show, but with much higher stakes. Every day brings fresh discoveries, new receipts, and additional reasons for Dalton residents to shake their heads in disbelief. Lightfoot isn't just examining past expenditures. She's trying to find a way to stop the financial hemorrhaging before Dalton turns into a ghost town. It's as if she's attempting to patch a sinking ship, but new holes keep appearing. The situation feels like a train wreck unfolding in slow motion. Only this train is made of dollar bills, and the tracks are Dalton's dwindling bank account. One mayor is investigating another, and the FBI is sniffing around, asking where all the money has gone. As this investigation continues, the stakes grow higher, and the pressure mounts. Residents are left wondering how much longer this mismanagement can continue before accountability finally catches up with Henyard. The drama in Dalton is far from over, and everyone is watching closely to see what happens next. It feels like a political ploy, but there are real consequences for real people. The streets of Dolton are heating up faster than a summer sidewalk, and the small-town residents are furious. What's fueling their outrage? Well, they're more upset than a drenched cat over Tiffany Henyard's spending spree, and who can blame them? The residents of Dolton are no longer staying silent. They're taking action and demanding Henyard's resignation. They're fed up with watching their hard-earned tax dollars evaporate to support their mayor's lavish lifestyle. While she lives like she has a golden ticket to the factory, the townspeople are grappling with increasing debt. At a recent village council meeting, the frustration was palpable. Residents voiced their anger, expressing that they cannot continue to support a mayor whose extravagant spending is pushing their community further into financial crisis. The disparity between Henyard's lifestyle and the struggles of the townspeople has ignited a fire that can no longer be ignored. They are ready for accountability and are making it clear that they will not stand for this mismanagement any longer.
Tiffany, there's one comment that I've heard out of your mouth that I actually agree with.
The people of Dolton became so enraged during the meeting that the police had to exit the room as shouts and accusations filled the air. Local business owner Lawrence Gardner even claimed he was harassed by police after refusing to donate to Henyard's political campaign. That's some unsettling behavior, especially when it appears the police are aligned with Tiffany. But it's not just the everyday residents who are upset. The village board is also trying to take a stand. They voted to investigate Henyard's spending, but she quickly shot that down. She enjoys her extravagant lifestyle and wasn't about to let the board interfere with her lavish expenditures funded by taxpayer money, something she should never have been doing in the first place. This is where things get serious. People in Dolton are left wondering about the future of their town as they watch the streets deteriorate while Henyard glides around in luxury. One local trustee stated that the community deserves financial transparency, essentially demanding, "Show us where the money went." The state of Illinois is so exasperated with this situation that they've decided to freeze funds to Dolton. That's right, they're cutting off the money supply. It's like when parents cancel an allowance because their child is mismanaging their finances. The frustration is palpable, and the townspeople are ready for answers about how their money is being spent. It's like spending it all on candy, but in this case, the candy is designer handbags and the parents are the entire state of Illinois. People are starting to connect the dots, and the picture they see is anything but pretty. It seems that Henyard's empire is more precarious than a house of cards in a tornado, and residents are ready to storm the mayor's office demanding answers. With the collapse of the Henyard regime, what will happen to Dolton? The answer might surprise you. Dolton is grappling with significant issues stemming from Tiffany Henyard's unstable leadership. This small town is facing a complete financial catastrophe, akin to someone smashing its piggy bank with a sledgehammer. Dolton has gone from having millions in the bank to being a staggering $3.5 million in debt. The town board members are at each other's throats, and with Henyard under investigation, her leadership appears as empty as a ghost town at night. You might be wondering if this is the end for Dolton. Hold on to your horses. This isn't Dolton's first crisis, and it might not be the last. But let's be honest, reality TV shows would envy this kind of drama. Well, except for the part where the feds are snooping around. As we all know, nobody wants the feds poking into their affairs because they have a knack for uncovering something. The alleged deception surrounding Henyard extends beyond lavish vacations and high-end purses. When a mayor is caught with their hand in the cookie jar, it breeds distrust for the next leader who steps in. This is just one of the long-term repercussions that could hit Dolton harder than a freight train. Residents are now grappling with serious problems due to the financial mismanagement of their leaders, particularly Tiffany Henyard, whose actions have left the town's coffers alarmingly empty. The financial woes go deeper than mere budget cuts. They threaten essential services, infrastructure repairs, and could lead to increased taxes for residents who are already feeling the pinch. This precarious situation poses a significant deterrent for businesses considering investment in Dolton. Who would want to invest in a community with such financial instability? The fallout from Henyard's reign could have lasting effects on the town's ability to attract new opportunities, leaving residents in a vulnerable position as they face an uncertain future. The absence of new businesses only worsens Dolton's challenges, especially with impending state budget cuts hanging over its head. It's evident that before any recovery can occur, Dolton must undergo a comprehensive cleanup to eliminate the financial mismanagement that has plagued the community. There needs to be an investigation into the tangled web of financial misdeeds to prevent such a crisis from recurring. This isn't just about finding new leadership. It's about purging the remnants of past corruption, which may require a community-wide effort similar to fumigation, removing the vermin of mismanagement and deceit. Fresh leadership is crucial. Someone who can responsibly balance the budget and treat the town's funds with the integrity they deserve, rather than using them as a personal slush fund. The most concerning aspect of this situation is that while Dolton faces dire circumstances, it has the potential to become a symbol of resilience. When a small town feels cornered, it often discovers the strength to rally together, igniting a fire in the hearts of its citizens. This could serve as the much-needed wake-up call for Dolton, encouraging community members to unite in the face of adversity. Recovery will not rest solely on the shoulders of its leaders. It will require collective action from everyone in the community to ensure a brighter future for Dolton. Together, they can rebuild and restore trust, setting the stage for a more prosperous tomorrow. From the entire town, initiatives like community meetings, volunteer efforts, and fundraising events could pave the way for recovery. The scandal surrounding Henyard's leadership, marked by her swift fall from a seemingly successful mayor to an FBI target, highlights the importance of vigilance in local politics. Reports suggest that members of her inner circle may be willing to testify against her, raising questions of loyalty and the lengths to which individuals will go to avoid the consequences of her alleged actions. Many community members are expressing their outrage, demanding severe repercussions for the mayor's betrayal of public trust. Phrases like, "Put this girl in jail for stealing from taxpayers," echo through the community, reflecting a collective frustration. Henyard's reign has not only left Dolton with a staggering debt of around $5 million, but has also tarnished the township's reputation. Her misuse of over $9 million in just 3 years paints a troubling picture of a leader whose incompetence has inflicted irreparable harm. Instead of being celebrated as a champion for the community, she is now seen as a source of disillusionment and disappointment. The need for transparency and accountability has never been more crucial, as the citizens of Dolton work to reclaim their town's future and restore trust in their leadership, become a figure of villainy, embodying everything that has gone wrong in local governance. As Dolton looks toward the future, it's essential to keep a vigilant eye on the local political landscape. The fallout from Henyard's alleged actions serves as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the need for accountability and transparency in leadership. The strength of the community lies in its ability to unite and demand change, ensuring that such mismanagement is eradicated once and for all. With federal investigations looming and the threat of legal repercussions hanging over her, Henyard's days as mayor seem numbered. The tide of public opinion has turned sharply against her, leaving her isolated and vulnerable in a town that once looked to her for direction. The loss of trust is palpable. This is a critical moment for Dolton. As the community navigates this turmoil, it becomes evident that the path to recovery depends on unity and collective action. The voices of the residents will shape the future of their town, and as they come together, the potential for meaningful change grows stronger. Dolton may be down, but it is far from out. It stands as a testament to the resilience of a community determined to rise from the ashes of corruption and reclaim its integrity. As the dust settles, Dolton faces a long road to recovery. But with the community rallying together, hope remains for a brighter future. This crisis has shown the power of accountability and the strength of a town unwilling to be silenced. Dolton's next chapter is one of resilience, and its people are ready to rise above the chaos and rebuild. Drop your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to check out the next video.